Yeah, I've been in South Africa nearly 25 years. Been with Cummins in January 20 of those years. I started in filtration, in sales. I moved through to parts management, general management. I've been involved in helping Cummins increase the footprint in Africa over the last 5 or 6 years, and recently taken on a role to look after marine, oil and gas and rail business for Cummins across the whole Africa territory.
And how have you seen the growth in the last 5 years, gas and diesel generation business?
Yeah, so the diesel generation business has always been around. We're getting more and more requests for LNG gas product, not specifically marine, but definitely in the transport and bus market, specifically in areas like Egypt and North Africa. The oil and gas business, as we know right now, is under extreme pressure. So we've seen a decline there, specifically in Angola and Nigeria, and obviously with general resources in mining, it's kind of put a lull generally on overhaul business for Cummins. However, in Africa, we're still expecting a growth of double digits this year.
In the maritime side, a lot of investment being put into the infrastructure. Have you seen knock-on effect?
Yeah. So once again, in the oil and gas industry, the local shipbuilders, the big shipbuilders out in Asia, specifically Singapore and in Europe, have been hit quite hard. We've seen a lot of the bigger fleets from Tidewater, Seacorp, Bond. They have vessels kind of cold stacked, so that they've completely shut down. So some of these customers are in at 40-50% cold stacking. So yeah, we've seen a decline. The new vessels are not being built. Current indications is we expect a turnaround around 18-19. We know recently OPEC have kind of reduced production, so we're hoping once the dollar price rises to about $60-70, that's kind of a leverage point where we would expect the business to turn around.
And the Q95, what are the key features that differentiate yourself from the competition?
Yeah, I think the key features are in its class versus our key competition. We have a lighter engine, we have less cylinders, we have a lower cost of ownership, which is really driving where we're heading.
Can you talk about the backup? 190 countries, massive infrastructure.
Yeah, we've got 119 countries globally, I think 600 distributors. We, from a Cummins perspective, it's imperative that we have this footprint across the globe to support our customers in whether it's marine market, mining, automotive, construction. So yeah, that is one of the Cummins' global presence that we're driving to.
Emissions is a big talking point. How do you stay ahead of the game in that regard?
Yeah, so emissions in Cummins in globally, specifically in the US, have been ahead of the game for many years. When the Tier 4 product came up and the low emissions came out in the US in about 4 or 5 years ago, a lot of our competitors exited that business because it was paying a duty over and above the current price of the engine. So we've kind of been at the forefront. We've had different types of emissions solutions to meet the stringent regulations.
And presumably this is a Tier 3, Euro 3 for this engine for South African purposes?
Yes, so right now it's IMO 2 certified. There's a Tier 4 product available. The Q95 is now available in marine, but we also have it available in Tier 4 product. We're putting in a high-speed loco application in the US through Siemens, and we've also got a lot of power generation products.
Some of the benefits of high speed?
The benefits of high speed, we're generally lower cost of ownership. We're generally easier to. We have no midlife to rebuild the engine. It's lighter, it's more fuel efficient, and overall, it's from a long-term customer benefit. It just makes a lot more sense. And the emissions, kind of on top of that, just kind of make it the way we feel the industry is going as well.
And your key customer base for this engine?
The key customer base is some of the markets we have played in the past, which is which is kind of the whole cross section from the offshore vessels, support vessels, to anchor handling tugs, to kind of super yachts, to port handling equipment. But the difference is now we're now operating in a larger vessel capacity. Okay. Yes, we might not in some applications have the propulsion power at 4,200 horsepower, but we now have a generator that can kind of suit some of those needs as well.
And the cruise ship option, that must be an exciting thing to get into.
Yeah, the cruise ship option, I mean, I think we're far away from meeting from a propulsion point of view, but from an auxiliary point of view, where it's lightweight, easy to handle, easy to kind of apply into the vessel. You know, that's kind of really exciting as well. So it kind of adds a whole new flavour to the marine business going forward. And I think the other thing is, as we move forward, we're going to move to a higher. This is the start of a whole new family of engines. We're going to move forward to probably 120 litre engine, and even down to a 72 litre engine with the same configuration, so it'll be easier for people to work on. We'll have the same application, the same controls, the same parts, and the same service capability.
120 litre engine. What sort of applications we're looking for that?
So on a 120 litre engine, it will also be marine. And also probably in power generation as well. From a mining perspective, I think we're getting too big there, but we really want to kind of give the medium speed, low speed engine guys a run for the money. And people are moving to high speed engines. The technology is better, the emission solutions are better. You know, it's a new market for us to play in. It's not going to be soon, but in the next 3 to 5 years, I would expect that product to be on the market.
Gas development in Africa is a bit of a slow uptake. How do you encourage people to get on board?
With
gas,
with LNG, gas powered. Yeah, it is slow. So LNG gas was taking off at a rapid pace. Then with the global oil price dropping, then people kind of backed off and said, well, I can still run a diesel engine and be competitive. The LNG gas engine on initial purchase is high, but over the lifespan of the engine and the low fuel costs, it kind of makes a lot more sense. There's opportunities up in North Africa that we're looking at with OEMs like Mercedes-Benz. So I think it's definitely the future. Depending on the oil price, kind of depends when that actually kicks off.
Predictions for the oil price, 12 months to 24 months?
Sorry, say that.
Predictions for the oil price?
So I said this year it's probably going to go back to $70 a barrel. I think it's just gone over $50 a barrel. We're out of the $28 a barrel thing. So hopefully by end of the year it's probably $55, $60 a barrel, and we'll see thereafter.
And Cummins American heritage. Well, what's the key benefit that the Americans bring to the table, so to speak?
So when we say the Americans, Cummins is a global brand. You know, we were born in America, but we're kind of a global brand. So we're not seen as an American company anymore. We're seen as a global company. Whether it's customers, employees, products, everything's treated the same. Everything has a global warranty. Everyone's trained the same, and everyone's working off the same platform.
Fuel quality. When we likely to see Euro 4, Euro 5 in Africa?
From a marine engine perspective.
Exactly.
That's very difficult. I think with 54 countries in Africa, currently there's a lot of growth in Africa. Emissions have kind of been on the table for many years. Governments are kind of looking at other things more than emissions right now. The good thing we have for Cummins, we do have a low emission engines. We still have engine plants, or we have engine plants in China and India. So our fit for market product is available. So if you need a mechanical engine with a low tier product rating, we have that engine available for the market, specifically for marine.
And the keys to the great Cummins name, as you've grown, how do you keep that quality?
How do we keep the quality? So I don't think how we keep the quality. I think from a quality perspective, it's always been at the forefront of Cummins. As you see with the Q95 engine, we could have released it probably 2 years ago. We've spent $900 million in investment to develop the engine. We've spent $300 million in capital investment. So a lot of that is surrounded by investment. We have 10 test cells in SEMO where we build the engine. So we will never put a product out there that we do not think will succeed. And Cummins brand is built on quality.
And can you put a dollar and cents in the kind of R&D that's gone into this project?
On the QSK95, yeah. So totality is $900 million investment over about the last 7 or 8 to 10 years. A capital investment of $300 million. We've interviewed thousands of customers. We've tried to understand what the market is asking for. So we feel right now that the product we have is really suitable for the market. As we go into the market with the product, we're very kind of circumspect as who do we supply the product to. We want to know who the end user is. We want to make sure it's in the right market. And we want to make sure that our engine is right for the application. We don't just want to put it in for the sake of putting it in. We want to do the right thing for the customers and for the product.
So obviously there's a lot of advice needed for your customer to not get the wrong engine in the wrong vessel.
Correct. So we have local people here who can support. We have excellent application engineers, and we also have kind of a central global team by market who's focused specifically on the Q95 product line. We have a Q95 product engineer who's kind of leading that for marine. We have another one just for rail, and then we have another one for power generation, because the engine is product specific. Okay, different application doesn't mean you can just put in the same engine.
Have we touched the surface on the sea traffic that Africa could potentially have?
Yes, so it's kind of throw a ball in the air and depend where you're going to catch it. If you look at the rig count, it's reduced dramatically over the last 2 years. Where that's going to be by 2018, 2019, we're pretty positive it's going to be somewhere where it was. Thereafter that, I think a lot depends on the global economy, politics, stability, what's going to happen in North Africa, what's going to happen in Russia. A lot of that, there's a lot of things we don't really know, but I think with the Q95 and Cummins investment in our product line, we'll position ourselves for any eventuality.
And total cost of ownership is the buzzword. How do you maintain those low margins for your customers?
So a lot of our product line in marine and mining on the high horsepower product from a midlife perspective, so we don't recommend a midlife overhaul anymore on our engine. A lot of our competitors do. So there all of a sudden you're looking at sometimes 30 to 50% the cost of an initial engine to overhaul the engine. We don't do that. We operate directly with the customer, look at the load factors, fuel burn, and can direct the customer as to when is the ideal time to do it, and not kind of just based on it's so many hours, so it needs to be done. And customers enjoy that. We want to be part of their business, understand what they want to do, and understand the product line that kind of fits there.
As you look into a crystal ball, what is the propulsion of the future going to look like 20, 30 years time?
That's kind of a $1 million question. I think we're going to be looking at different fuels. We're going to be looking at hybrids, solar. You look at the car industry where Tesla going with battery driven. On the marine perspective, in high horsepower, is that really going to work? Possibly, what kind of a bank of batteries, but I think these kind of things are going to look at some kind of hybrid type of solution. I think the diesel engine or LNG engine is always going to be there, but with some kind of solar special fuel type solution.
When's England going to win the World Cup again?
Not in my lifetime.